Perhaps many of us think of immortality as a concept only in science fiction movies or ancient legends. However, get ready to question these thoughts and go on in-depth journey into the philosophical dimensions of immortality with this video. At first glance, immortality may seem like a mere biological concept. However, today, by looking at the issue from both scientific and philosophical dimension, we will see how complex and how deep an issue mortality is. Without being limited to science, we will also examine how the concept of immortality was shaped and how it affected human thought from ancient philosophers and today's thinkers. While doing this, I will explain a little from my own perspective. After the video, you can talk to me and others about your own thoughts in the comments. So let's get started. From a philosophical perspective, concept of infinity becomes a question of metaphysics. Eternity is a phenomenon that transcends the boundaries of the time and affects man's quest to immortality. This will to immortality in human nature brings with it a metaphysical problem. While the immortal forms in Plato, ideal state, point to existence, to beyond human body. Aristotle tried to find immortality in human actions and virtue. From Descartes to Nietzsche, modern philosophers began to consider immortality from a scientific and rational perspective. With the advancement of science and technology, human potential immortality has become more concrete. Immanuel Kant argued that man can only experience the phenomenon world. According to him, metaphysical concepts such as immortality were things that could not be known because they were beyond experience. Jean-Jacques Rousseau was a philosopher who emphasized human nature and freedom. According to him, the idea of immortality is associated with humans' return to his free and natural state. Returning to the nature can help humans discover immortal soul at his core. Schopenhauer criticized the idea of immortality, arguing that desire is source of suffering. The idea of immortality only meaning that existing pain continues forever. Nietzsche's concept of eternal return offers an alternative view to the idea of immortality. According to Nietzsche, repeating each moment indefinitely can increase the value and meaning of life, between being and nothingness. Nihilism is a philosophical approach that rejects fundamental concepts such as existing, meaning, and value. Nihilism, derived from the Latin word nihil, rejects issues such as ideas of existence, ethical norms, and cultural values. This perspective argues that life has no fundamental meaning and questions the validity of human values. The idea of immortality is often linked adding meaning to people's lives, reducing existential anxiety or longing from an eternal existence. However, according to nihilism, such searches are meaningless because there is no underlying meaning in life. Nietzsche's concepts of eternal return radically addresses the idea of immortality. This idea that every moment will repeat forever presents a nihilist perspective that questions the meaning of life. Camus's concepts of the absurd indicates that man's search for meaning is meaningless. The idea of immortality makes the search of the meaning of life is even more absurd. The way out of this conflict between nihilisms and immortality may be for the individual to take responsibility, creating his or her meaning of life. This means taking responsibility of determining meaning of life and establish values from an existential perspective. Perspective of Christianity is also based on the concept of afterlife, and immortality depends on the salvation granted through Jesus Christ. Heaven and hell shape of the concept of immortality. Similar to the Islam, Buddhism is approached immortality through the doctrine of reincarnation. Karma and reincarnation shape the immortal nature of human, but this is a different concept of Christian and Islamic perspective of the afterlife. In the Jewish belief, the concept of immortality depends on God's promises and the moral behavior of an individual waiting for the coming of Messiah, and remaining faithful to God's world shapes Jewish expectations of reality. Common themes among Christianity, Islam, Buddhism, and Judaism are their acceptance of the immortal nature of human and their emphasis on the consequence of the immortal behavior. However, each of them shapes immortality with different concepts, and these concepts vary according to basic techniques and belief system of each religion. Transhumanism is a worldview that emphasizes the use of technology and science. This perspective, the integration of advanced technologies, allows humans to transcend their biological limiters and expand the physical boundaries of their body. The transhumanist approach involves the use of biotechnology, the integration of genetic engineering, nanotechnology, and artificial intelligence allows humans to change and even modify their biological makeups. This aims to enable people to live longer and healthier life by exceeding their physical limits. Transhumanism also includes the idea of consequence being digitalized persistence in some form of artificial intelligence. This carries the potential of human consequences to continue independently of the physical body. So first, ethnical issues. For example, the ethical issues that may rise from genetic engineering practices and the risk they may arise from changing human nature are matters of debate. And the second thing is inequality and access. Inequality in access to these technologies is another point. The fact that only those with a certain level of wealth have access to these technologies may increase social inequalities. The concept of transhumanism and the infinity of the body is an important concept that shapes human existence with the advancement of technology and science. However, it is important to note that discussion and reflection in these areas are important, giving the ethical, social, and cultural challenges that these advances bring. Existential thought suggests that immortality may harm human freedom. An eternal life can question and devalue the meaning of our decisions and actions. Existentialism emphasizes that meaning is created individually. The quest for immortality may make it difficult an individual to find meaning in his or her own life, as there may be a need to cope with the limiters of an immortal life and the responsibility of determining meaning. The quest of immortality allows you to deeply understand how it can affect human freedom and the search of meaning. This allows us to explore an area where immortality may conflict with the fundamental tenets of existential thought. Zen focuses intermediate experience of life. Eternity is often associated in Zen with consequence awareness, present in the present moment. Eternity is the ability to have a deep understanding and value of each moment. In Zen, the concept of immortality is based on an idea that time is a mental formation and that an eternal present moments exist of the basis of reality. This leads to enjoy the individual moment without trying his life solely to past or future concerns. Zen philosophy emphasized the integration of the individual with the universe. Infinity is associated with a person's awareness that he or she goes beyond being just an individual being and is a part of the universe. Zen practice, especially Zazen's, that means sitting meditation, aim for the individual to deepen the consequences of the present moment and experience eternity with this consequences. Zen monks aim to help the individual overcome his limited self-perception and become a universal being. Thought intense meditation processes called sesshin. This may be practically used to make sense of the idea of immortality. Zen emphasized that understanding and experiencing immortality is inner experience. Every moment in our life is there for us. Therefore, the thought of immortality is also the thought. In the seemingly improbable world, many people have already achieved condition of literally immortality of several times. Looking at the selfless work of few ignited human souls in this incredible age, this thing call us the desired level. The great responsibility of having almost the entire burden of our lives depends solely on the intellectual world. Inside our heads also give us true endlessly freedom. Thinking about what immortality means offers an opportunity to expand our world of thought and shape our own understanding of immortality.